One player in particular hit the headlines for being left out, and that was Raheem Sterling. Why this turned into a bigger story than maybe it had to be was that his PA released this statement saying Raheem Sterling is contracted to Chelsea Football Club for the next 3 years. He returned to England 2 weeks early to conduct individual training and has had a positive pre-season under the new coach, who has developed a good working relationship with. He is committed as ever to delivering at the highest level for Chelsea and the fans, who he holds in high regard. And given his inclusion in official club pre-match material this week, our expectations was that Raheem would be involved in this weekend's fixture in some capacity. As a camp, I'm not sure how many people are in this camp, we have always had positive dialogue with and assurance from Chelsea in relation to Raheem's future at the club. So we look forward to gaining clarity on the situation. Until then, we will continue to support Raheem's desire to start the new season positively. Now, this was released before kickoff, when it was announced that Raheem Sterling wasn't in the squad. What do you make of it?
Well, first of all, Raheem Sterling not being in the squad for me is not really a big deal. It's not like, Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne were left out at Man City. It's not like Declan Rice was banned from the training ground at Arsenal. It's not like the Liverpool coach left for Ipswich and Mo Salah was in the car park and was left behind. So it's not a huge playing thing, but it's blown up a little bit or a lot because of this statement. This tells me what the game's all about now. You go to the manager the next morning and you kick the door off the hinges if that's what you want to do.
Yep.
But you go in there and you're robust and you say, what the hell's going on? You're not part of my plan, son. That's crystal clear. I don't need people releasing stuff because I'm not in the matchday squad or I'm biffed. I'm out. Right? I don't need that. And a manager doesn't need it either. Go and see him the next day and say, transfer window is however many days away. Am I in your plans or am I not? Now, I think clearly we have the answer.
Yes.
Right, so Enzo Maresca can come out and fudge it all he wants. We have the answer. But all this statement nonsense, quite frankly, is just what it is. It's just balderdash. But that being said, it makes no difference really, I think. Raheem Sterling's career is going that way. So it's a story within a story. But Chelsea want to move forward. And you don't need to put it one way. When you're left out, that sends a clear signal. Mm-hmm. It's match day one, It's Man City, it's at home, you have a new manager who wants to make a good impression. He plays and has on the bench the players that he thinks is going to make him look the best. If that's not a signal of intent, I don't know what is.
Frank, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was surprised by that statement, and I tried to read between the lines, and in fact, I realized that there was nothing to read between the lines except the lines. And the lines, when you read the lines, is 3 years left, 3 years contract left. How many years did he sign for Chelsea? How long he's been at Chelsea? 2, 3 years already?
Yep.
Did he sign a new contract? His performances have been so average, I would say, and I want to be nice, that I understand that he signed a new contract. And if he signed a 5 years or 6 years contract, that's crazy. I always said when Pep Guardiola doesn't want you anymore, there is a question mark. And if you are another club and you want to buy Sterling because you think you can compete against Manchester City, hiring Sterling, you're wrong. You're wrong. If you are a middle table team, and that's okay because Sterling is a good player. He's not maybe the player he was before at Liverpool and after Manchester City. But there is a real question mark. Why do you sign a 5 years, 6 years contract, a player who is on his way down? That's my concern. And that's what it is with Raheem Sterling. And there is nothing to read between the lines. Unfortunately, his best days are behind him. And that's what it is in football. And unless he goes to another club and maybe has other projects, but at Chelsea, it's over. The fans, they mostly don't really like him. He hasn't been good for Chelsea. It's been a wrong performance, and he's been lasting too long, and he has to go for me.
He had his moments last year, didn't he?
Of course.
He had his moments last year at times.
It's a good job. 3 games, yeah.
It's a good job we never got statements from all the others left out the matchday squad. We'd still be here next week, wouldn't we?
We're going through all the pages.
But look, at the end of the day, managers come in and make decisions, and clearly the club feel and the manager feels that he's surplus to requirements, they'll be looking to get people off the wages. Don't forget, I was surprised today in the commentary, Romelu Lukaku's still in the books. Amongst others, you've got Ben Chilwell there, who apparently the manager basically said is surplus to requirements. So there are many, many, many that Chelsea will be trying to get off the books. And many of them have come in during this Todd Bowley era, and all of a sudden they have all these players, they have to meet all these requirements from the Premier League, and something has to give. And it looks like it's going to be Raheem Sterling. But tell you what, if I had a 3-year contract, 3 years left, and I was in that scenario as a player, it's not a bad place to be. Yeah, you're a bit frustrated from a playing perspective, but, you know, he's sitting on a nice contract, so he's going to be ultimately the winner in this in the end.
Craig, you cannot say that. I mean, there are people watching us, and hopefully young people watching us. I mean, I understand what you mean because of the money, because of the contract, but we have to send a message that the most important thing in football, and it's not money. If they have enough money, those players, to enjoy, and how they enjoy their lives is playing football. Say you have 3 years contract, you're on the bench at Chelsea Football Club, and you're happy with it? No, I'm sorry. When I was at Chelsea, and I wasn't earning the money that I earned, I felt that I couldn't play anymore because Ranieri trusted more John Terry to do so. So I decided, okay, what do I want? And I was already 32, 33. I could have stayed on the bench. Yeah, I get my money. I love football. So I went for Marseille, 4 times less wage to play football because it's what I wanted. And I'm sorry, Raheem Sterling is still young. He has to go to another club to enjoy because he's going to regret that. Yeah, money is important in life, but it doesn't make all, you know. And having regrets at the end of the career, so I played only 200 games in my career. Yeah, I'm a millionaire. I'm very happy. It's not what it is, you know. You have to achieve something.
But if they want him out, he's holding the cards.
That's it.
Really, because he's got that. But my point is, he's got this deal, and it's their prerogative to get him out, and that's why I'm surprised that he's bleating about it a little bit, because it's crystal clear what has happened here, that he's going to be surplus to requirements. But my point is that if you're going to try and force somebody out of a club, which clearly they're going to try and do with someone. You remember Barcelona tried to do it with Frankie de Jong a couple of years ago, and Frankie de Jong went, sod you. I'm not the makeshift in this, the make-weight and all this financial skullduggery, right? I'm not, and I'm not having it. And so Raheem Sterling's in a position where manager doesn't look as if he wants him, the club don't look as if they want him, but he's got this contract. So he can roll the ball back into their court and say, over to you. Yeah, it's frustrating, I understand that, but it's back in your court. You want me to go, you make it happen.
One more thing from what we saw today, and it's just incredible when you look at his numbers. Erling Haaland, of course, scoring once again. That's 100 games, got 91 goals, 15 assists. By the way, during that time, he's got 91 goals. The second closest to him is Mohamed Salah, with 56 goals in the same time span. And today, Frank, was one where he just seemed to want it more.
Yeah, that's crazy. And with all the smiles on his face, I mean, that was absolutely fantastic. And the goal he scored was simply amazing because the first control is good. You would have thought that his Erling Haaland is not technical, so he's going to shoot straight away. No, he pushed the ball a little bit, chipped the ball over the goalkeeper and scored a beautiful goal. And he always scored in the first day to sign, to make sure that people will remember him. The guy is only exceptional. I would be frustrated to play his role because he doesn't touch the ball enough for me. He's not involved enough, but that's mostly because of the way City plays. And he has to be patient and ready to receive from De Bruyne, from Bernardo Silva, or other Grealish, maybe, or Rodri when he plays a perfect ball for an assist. It's a frustrating game, but it's a rewarding game because he scored goals and goals and goals. And we planned that when he moved from Dortmund to City, that he would be exceptional, and he is. He's still very young. We don't have the chance to see him because he doesn't play for a big country, but what a player. What a player.
That's why, quite often, if you look closely enough, you can see steam coming out of Jan Agafiotov's ears. When we have a discussion, when you see that graphic and those numbers, and we have a discussion about, hardly saw Erling Haaland today. God, he wasn't involved in the game. And that has been quite regular. And then you look at the numbers and you go, hold on a minute.
Yeah, it's quite something, isn't it?
It's hard to argue. Now, in a perfect world, would his all-round game be sharper and more polished? I think so. But the strikers' union out there and the statisticians will say, look at that.
Yep.
And argue against that. And at the end of the day, that's always what it's going to be about. But it's scoring in the big games, isn't it?
Well, that's it. People
last
point
year,
at finals.
The Real Madrid
like that,
game, another game. It's all, the stats are great, but it's really when you get to these big moments, which he has done in his career. He absolutely has. But there was moments last year where it didn't happen for him. His numbers are great, but it didn't happen for him in some of the bigger games. And I think that's where he can polish those rough edges a little bit.